When I put them blonde braids in, y'all not seeing me, okay? Okay? Hey you guys, it's your girl Chelsea Alexa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel in general, and welcome to the Braiding Series finale. I started my braiding series 3 weeks ago. I started with my how to cornrow for beginners, and then I went into how to box braid for beginners. Last week I dropped how to do feed-in braids for beginners, and today we're gonna round it off with a DIY box braid tutorial. I noticed that I have examples on my channel of cornrows and feed-in braids, but I don't have any examples of box braids really. So in the spirit of braiding and whatnot, I decided to just film a DIY box braid tutorial to really round this braiding series off. Today I'm actually going to be doing goddess box braids. If you're not familiar, goddess box braids are just regular box braids that have curly hair added to the ends or sometimes in the middle throughout the braid. So I'm gonna show you guys what I do anytime I do goddess box braids. I've done them a few times in the past. I personally use old wigs. Anytime I have a curly wig or a wavy wig, right around the time that it's on its last leg, I'll take the wig apart and then I'll use the bundles for goddess braids, and I'll show you guys how. This is the wig that I actually tried recording. The curls look so good on camera. Whoa, what's going on? Anyways, this is a wig that I actually tried recording an install video for, and it just did not come out good. I think the lace is just about done, but the hair is pretty cute still. And it was black originally. I balayaged it like 2 years ago. Did not record it, of course, but you know, there'll be plenty of time for that. But yeah, so this is the wig that I'm gonna be using. It was black originally, and I just kind of turned it to like a chocolatey brown and then added some blonde highlights over it. And then a couple weeks ago, I threw like a toner over it. It was like a rose gold kind of hue. I'm not sure if you guys can see it in the camera, but it's really, really rose gold to me. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna be using. This is also sort of like a custom color type thing too. I'm doing the braids in the color to match the wig. So I have 3 colors, 33, which is like a chocolatey brown, 27, which is like an ashy, like goldeny brown or blonde, and then 613, which is like platinum blonde. I'm gonna mix those 3 colors together to get the color that I want. So for the hair that I'm using the Sensational 3X Rua pre-stretched. It's the same hair that I've been using in my feed-in and box braid tutorials for my braiding series in the color 27. And I'm also using that exact same brand, but for 613. I'm not using a lot of 613, so I'm just gonna use what I have left over, which is this. So I could have gotten the brown in that same brand that I showed you guys. The hair that I just showed you guys, I actually already have here. I had like 2 packs of each. For whatever reason, I had so much of that hair, so I didn't buy any new hair. But for the brown hair, I actually got a different brand, and I chose to revert to a brand that I used to use like when I first started doing hair. I'm talking about when I was 16. Like, this is the brand of hair that I used to use. Hollywood hair. Girl, that was it. That was it. See, and I have it in the number 33. It's like a chocolatey brown for like the base. It's not pre-stretched, so I'll have to stretch it, but it's not that big of a deal. I love this hair because it's just so soft. And when I do small box braids, I tend to go for hair that's soft like that because it just kind of makes the hair flow better. But because I already had that hair here, I wasn't gonna buy all new hair because I have way too much of this hair here anyways. I need to get rid of it. This is the number 33 hair. And since it's not pre-stretched, the first thing I'm gonna do is stretch out the ends. I'm just pinching the ends. So I'm only actually gonna work with about half of this at a time. So what I really want is the brown and the 27 to kind of mix together, and then to have like streaks of the 613. So I'm gonna mix the brown, the 33, the 27 together right now, and then I'll add the 613 at the end so I can make sure that it's still visible. So I'm getting just about the same size in the 27 as the 33, and I'm gonna put it directly on top. So I split it in half and back directly on top, in half, on top. You guys get the gist at this point. To take the wig apart, I'm basically just exposing the thread and using my shears to cut it slash just unravel it. Then I'm going to use an eyebrow razor to hack away at the hair and get it off the track. I just didn't want to use shears because it's going to cut too blunt, and I wanted it to be feathered without having to do it myself. And that's what it ended up looking like after. I tried to really only get the light pieces so that it would match the hair. So I'm starting off with freshly washed and stretched hair. I actually did not blow my hair out for this style. I usually blow my hair out every time I do box braids. This is the first time I did box braids on stretched hair and not blown out hair. I've just been using so much heat lately, I feel like there's other ways to do it. So I wanted to just see how it was going to work because honestly, they're small box braids anyways. I've only ever blown my hair out first because I thought it'd make it last longer. So I'm excited to see how that's going to work. I'm also planning on recording a takedown video, so y'all are going to see too how it held up. Product wise, I have wild growth, except it's not really wild growth. It's black castor oil, jojoba oil, which I do not have footage of for whatever reason, peppermint oil, and a little bit of wild growth. Then I have shea castor strengthener and shine and jam, which y'all know I always use. So just like I showed you guys in the how to cornrow portion of my braiding series, I'm using the tail part of that comb and I'm laying it flat and pushing it straight through. It does work on all kind of hair types. I want y'all to see. It's not just only for the straight hair mannequins. I'm going to go through with my wild growth hair oil concoction and then put my Brown & Brothers on my hair. I'm going to use that shine and jam to clean up my parts and then use that tail part of the comb again to create a clean section for my box braid. So I'm going to pull the hair from my first braid and then take a third of that and lay it on top. I'm going to now loop it together to create a third strand, and now we have 3 strands for our box braid. I'm going to set my hands like I'm preparing for a cornrow and start with right crossing under middle to grab left, and then left going under the middle to grab the right. Right grabs left, left grabs right, and I'm pulling on my real hair to secure it. And then I'm going to continue. If you're not familiar with this, I would suggest watching my how to box braid video. I really break it down more there. And at this point I'm switching to underhand, putting some shine and jam on my real hair to blend it in, and continuing a normal braid. For some of the braids in this front section, I added curly hair to the braid itself and at the bottom. So I'm going to take that curly hair and just really braid that in to the regular braid. After a couple stitches, I'm going to remove the curly part of the hair, or the long side of the curly hair, I'm sorry, and continue the braid. Just making sure you exclude it so that it hangs freely once you pass it. And now I'm going to show you guys a better angle of what I was doing before when I added the curly hair. I'm laying it directly behind the braid, and I'm just continuing the braid by braiding it in. I'm going to do that a few times in this video, so you're really going to get the hang of it, I promise. It might not make a complete sense right now. Now I'm going to take one of the pieces of braiding hair, wrap it around, and create a knot. Once you create that knot, split it in 2, and then you're going to tie those 2 strands around themselves 2 times. I'm going to get my shears and I'm going to cut off the excess braiding hair. So from the beginning I have my braiding hair and I've taken out a third. I'm going to lay that third on top of the rest of the hair, bring it together, and now I have 3 sections. And here I have a better angle of what I'm doing. I like this angle better than the first one. Right under left, left under right. And I'm going to tug on that hair and continue with my braid. If you guys do want to see how I part the back of my hair for box braids and things like that, I do talk about that in my passion twist video, and I'm going to link that above for you guys so you guys can check that out. So now for the ending piece, I'm laying that directly across the braid, and I'm really just braiding it in like regular. I just have one side that was shorter than the other. Once I braid past the shorter side, that's when I take one of the strands of braiding hair and create my knot. Wrap it around all the hair and secure your knot. Now take the tail from that knot, split it in half, and then you're going to tie it twice. You're tying it like how you do in the beginning of when you tie your shoes. And you can take your shears and cut off that excess braiding hair. Cut close to the knot, but not too close because you don't want it to just unravel, but you just also don't want it to show. It's going to show a little bit, but the hair is curly, and once it's all done, you're not even going to notice. So again, take 1/3 of that hair and lay it on top. Switch to underhand once you're secure and continue your braid. And make sure to add shine and gem. I had to, especially because I did not blow my hair out, so I had to add it to make sure that my hair wouldn't pop out. Now I'm adding the hair to the end and braiding it in. And we're magically on our last braid. And I'm going to show you guys how I add the hair in the middle of this braid too. So the same way I add it to the end, laying it flat, and then I'm just braiding it in. After I braid down 2 or 3 times, I find the long side of the curly hair and I remove it so that it doesn't get stuck in the braid. And then I just continue braiding. That way you lock the curly hair in by just braiding it in and it won't fall out. And then I do the same thing basically at the ends, except I continue the braid. When you're creating this knot, you cannot use the strand of hair that also contains the curly hair. You have to use one of the other two, or it's going to be weird. Snip, snip, and we're done. I like that I didn't add too much curly hair in the middle of the braids. I like the sporadic curls. And the parts aren't perfect, but they look pretty decent. If you follow the way that I do it, they're gonna look decent. And honestly, this hair is so full, you don't even see the parts anyway once it's all down. And yeah, it hits me right, like, right where my butt starts. So it's perfect length for me. So I'm going to go in with edge booster for my edges. And my little edge comb slash brush slash spatula thingy. Y'all, I tried recording my edges, but I promise y'all all of it was out of frame. So this is all y'all can get. I'm sorry. Going in with my Nairobi now to set everything in. I used a lot because there are a lot of braids. Then I have my Fantasia spritz. And I'm folding a styling strip in half and laying it on top of my edges to keep them together. Braids are just so me. It's so crazy because I was looking through my photos and I haven't had like box braids in like almost a year. Like if you know me, one thing about me is I always got braids. Like I always got braids. Like that's just Chelsea and braids. Like that's it. So I'm excited to come back home, you know. This concludes the braiding series, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a full month. Back to back every week. I drop a video every other week, so every week to me was giving me a run for my money, but I'm glad I did it. I really love how the series turned out, and I hope so far that it's helped you guys a lot. This is not just a one and done series. I will be adding to this series more as I go along. There are multiple ways to learn how to cornrow, box braid, feed in, and all of it. So I'm probably going to be adding on to this series, so definitely look out for that. I'll let you guys know when that's coming up. I'm kind of like, what happens now? Because these braids are staying in for 4 to 6 weeks at least. Like, these braids took me some time. Like, this video was filmed over 3 days. Like, it took some time. So these braids are staying in. So now I think I'm forcing myself to do other kind of content. Don't hold me to it, but I'm thinking a makeup video, a makeup tutorial might be in the works, but we'll see. I mean, I didn't even say that, you know what I'm saying? If makeup is something you guys are interested in seeing me do on this channel, definitely drop that down below in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what looks you want me to try. If there are any products or anything, just let me know, because I'm open to makeup. I'm just gonna take my time. The braiding series might be over, but sweetie, we just getting started on this channel, okay? So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, do it all, because we here. We're here. We're here, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you so much for tuning into my braiding series. I cannot wait to see y'all next time. I promise it won't be too long. I will be back. But until then, I'll see y'all later.